June 29, 1958. The Rosunda Stadium in Stockholm is packed with 50,000 fans. Sweden, the host nation, has defied expectations to reach the World Cup final. But standing in their way is Brazil, a team full of flair, talent, and a 17-year-old wonder kid who is about to change the history of football forever. This match would not just crown a world champion. It would mark the beginning of a dynasty. Let's uncover 10 fascinating facts about the 1958 World Cup final. Just 4 minutes in, the unthinkable happens. Nils Liedholm, the Swedish captain, bursts into the box and scores with his left foot. Sweden lead 1-0, and the home crowd erupts. Brazil, the heavy favorites, are stunned. But Brazil strike back immediately. Garrincha, the dribbling genius known as the Little Bird, terrorizes the Swedish defense with quick runs down the right wing. His dazzling footwork sets the stage for Brazil's equalizer. Within minutes, Vavá, Brazil's powerful striker, scores twice in the first half. Both goals are the product of Garrincha's unstoppable runs and crosses. Suddenly it's 2-1 to Brazil. The tide has turned. The second half is when the world meets Pelé. At just 17 years old, he becomes the youngest player ever to appear in a World Cup final. But he's not just there to watch. He's about to steal the show. In the 55th minute, Pelé receives the ball inside the box. He flicks it over a defender with supreme skill, lets it bounce, and smashes it into the net. One of the greatest goals ever scored in a World Cup final. Brazil now lead 3-1. A new superstar has arrived. Sweden refused to give up. In the 80th minute, Simonsson scores to make it 4-2. For a moment, the crowd dares to dream of a miracle comeback. But Brazil are simply too strong. Just 2 minutes later, Pelé rises high above the defenders and heads in his second goal. At 17 years old, he scores twice in a World Cup final. The teenager bursts into tears at the final whistle. He knows his life, and football itself, will never be the same. The match ends 5-2 for Brazil. With 7 goals, it remains the highest-scoring World Cup final in history. A game filled with drama, flair, and unforgettable moments. In pure joy, the Brazilian players take off their boots and dance barefoot on the pitch. They carry the trophy and sing in tears. This is more than victory. It is the birth of Brazilian football's golden era. This was the first time Brazil lifted the World Cup wearing their now iconic yellow and green kit. From that day forward, the Canarinho became the most feared and admired jersey in world football. The beautiful game had found its new home. The 1958 World Cup final was not just about a trophy. It was about the rise of Brazil, the brilliance of Garrincha, the leadership of Didi, and the teenage genius of Pelé. In Stockholm, on that summer day, the world witnessed the beginning of a dynasty and the birth of the greatest player the sport has ever known. This was Brazil's first World Cup and the start of football's most beautiful story.